Right, so I'm back with another episode of Top 5 Mods. I know, it's been a while. So as I mentioned in the last video, I don't really have a heck of a lot of time on my hands right now, so that's why it's pretty much taken so long. And as I also mentioned in that video, I was thinking of a slight format change, so this time around, we're gonna try that format change and see whether or not it's a terrible idea, or it's the greatest idea ever conceived by mankind. Because the way I was doing it before, it took me 2 full days in order to create one of these videos, and I don't really have that time on my hands anymore. So what I'm thinking of now is just doing this more in a live setting, sort of trying to catch the same style of humor, showing off the mods, showing off the interesting things, but saving myself some time. But yeah, we'll try that out for this episode, so be sure to watch the entire thing, tell me what you think, and without yammering on for too much longer, let's roll that intro. Now, normally it's a top 5 episode, even though it's never actually been a top 5 episode because I always cram more mods into the top 5 episode, but this time around, since it's been so freaking long, there's way too many mods to go through, so I'm gonna just say it's a top mods episode. There's way more than 5 mods in here. I think it's like 18 mods. We've got a lot of mods to cover. But first up, we got the Tough Traveler outfit, which I got on right now, and we also got the Military Combat Fatigues. Now, in order to acquire these magnificent outfits, is no easy task. Now, as per usual, we get our clothing items from Fallon's basement in Diamond City. Now, the last few times around, I sort of massacred this town, but it seems to have repopulated. Well, I guess they've not forgotten about it. That is a slight problem. Fortunately, I got this very big machine gun. Alright, we just lay down some suppressive fire and we get into the basement. That's the most important part. We have to acquire those outfits. Very interesting. Now, I feel like it's a tiny bit crammed in here, so we really just gotta free up some space. With a shotgun. Now, since there's no witnesses anymore, we can pick up our outfits in peace, without getting interrupted. Now, before you leave, you want to make sure you pick up as many essays as you can from the shipment that's in the corner. Anyways, now that we're finally back up here, we got the Tough Traveler outfit, which makes you look like a tough traveler. You get some camo pants, which are a tiny bit ripped up. You get a lot of goggles. I mean, I got neck goggles, I got goggles, and I got forehead goggles. You just never have enough goggles. This outfit looks pretty damn cool. It fits in with the wasteland, and it makes you look like a tough guy. There's a few different modular armor pieces, so if you don't want the 3 goggles that kind of make you look like an idiot, you can actually not wear those. Your tank top does kind of look like it needs a good washing, but nothing a laundry service can't fix. Then next up we got the Military Combat Fatigues. So this transforms the army fatigues into actual fatigues that look cool. So there's various camo patterns that go around. I think I got the tiger camo stripes enabled right now. But there's many more. You also got multi-cam, you got black, you got tan boots, you got whatever you want. Just pick the most stylish military outfit you can think of. Now, the Mothauthor was also thinking about releasing those vests. He's apparently still working on that, so if you truly want to look like a stylish soldier, you want to keep an eye out for that. But I mean, I think I look dashing right now. So next up we got another armor mod, which is ELI'S Armour Compendium. Anyways, in order to get your hands on some of these outfits, you can go to a special store, which is right next to Diamond City. You just sort of take a right at the front entrance, and then you will stumble upon this store right here. ELI'S Essential Premium Wasteland Wear. Raiders will be shot on sight with 2 exclamation points. That means 2 bullets. So we just enter this store, you admire the wonderful interior, and then you go ahead and talk to Ellie right here. Apparently they also got a cat, which morphs into the carpet.
I'm good at outfits, bad with people. So, you buying or what?
Oh yeah, she kind of looks like a lawnmower has been over her face, but anyways, we're here to barter.
I've got a few minutes to browse.
Also, I'm black.
Yeah.
Again. Now this is where you get to spend all those caps you've earned from selling those cell phones. So this mod adds in a lot of armors as well as accessories, and in this store you get to buy some of those, as well as blueprints, in order to craft them yourself. So then you just have to find the nearest vantage point with a beautiful view in order to try out some of these outfits. So we got this thing right here. It is the armored jumpsuit. And we can also get that in blue and yellow, the armored vault suit. We also get an oversized helmet as well as this comic outfit right here, which looks pretty dashing. I look like a nerd already. And you also got a field medic outfit with a little medkit on your back. Just some nice casual wear as well. More nerdy outfits, but this one does show off my biceps, so that's always a bonus. some heavy raider armor, and we also get the skimpy variant. I do think I look sexy in this one. Definitely. I mean, wonderful chest protection, and it shows off my abs, which is the most important part. If you don't have any abs, you can also become a railroad messenger boy. Anyways, I think you get the point. So there's a bunch of wonderful outfits in here, all high details. Some of them you've probably seen before because it's an armor collection, and some of them are a tiny bit skimpy, but not too skimpy. The right type of skimpy. So now that we've acquired enough outfits for the next 6 years, it's time for some weapons. Fortunately, I got this Amazon Prime package right here, which is piling with weapons. So we got some goodies to go try out. So the first thing out of this box is the RU-556. So this is based off of the AR-15 platform. It's a fully automatic 5.56 assault rifle. It's got custom animations. It looks really freaking cool. It's got custom scopes, a shit ton of attachments, and overall, it just makes you look like a badass. This is another one of these really high quality weapons. One of the best ones out there, on par with the Scar Age. But if you're not a big fan of the ACOG scope, you can switch this out for various red dot sights. You can change the magazines as well. You can change the finish. You can add a bunch of foregrip attachments, laser pointer attachments. This is really a customizable, custom, cool assault rifle. So if you're looking around for a cool new toy, this is definitely something to try out. So next up we got the Wattz 2000 laser rifle. So this laser rifle was in Fallout 1 and 2, and now it's in Fallout 4. So it looks pretty alright in this game. It looks a bit big, but the reloading animations fit. It's decently customizable. Now on your screen it does look a tiny bit big, and in third person it looks even bigger. It looks a tiny bit too big. It's morphed into your shoulder, so gotta deduct some points for that, but other than that, it's a pretty alright gun. If you want something with a tiny bit more oomph, we also got the China Lake right here. So this is a grenade launcher, pump action shotgun thingy. It is very effective for crowd control. So this mod adds in this thing as well as a hollow rifle, which is the thing you found in New Vegas. So it is sort of like a pump action laser-esque rifle. This is the explosive variant. You can also put in some different shells into this thing. So say you don't like frag particularly much, you can also go for the shotgun receiver, you can go for slugs, you can go for SIMS grenade receiver, as well as plasma, just anything you can think of. So as with all the high quality weapon mods, this one is very much custom. It's got custom pump animations, custom reload animations, custom textures, custom sounds. It is just a pretty freaking cool little thing, and it's very great at exploding Brappertons right up in your face. Now, if you actually want to acquire this thing, there's a few different variants sprinkled around the wasteland. There's some legendary variants out there as well, so you can go exploring and get your very own China Lake, the most wonderful pump action shotgun, because it's explosive. If ever you're not a fan of explosions nor pump action shotguns, but still shotguns, we also got the Chiappa triple threat triple barrel shotgun, which is basically a double barrel shotgun, but instead of 2 barrels, it's got 3 barrels. As they say, the more barrels, the more fun. So this does feature custom reload animations for the 3 barrels. It looks pretty freaking cool. So basically, it's just extended magazines for the double barrel shotgun. If you like that weapon, which I do, now we got more. We also got a nice and beefy sound effect here. And since we are taking a look at shotguns now anyway, we also got the Benelli M3 Super 90, which is another one of these nice and custom shotguns. This one sounds even louder. So the last shotgun we got is the hunting shotgun. This one is pretty freaking amazing too. The only downside is that this one does not keep up the shell count. So whatever you do, you're going to be reloading this thing the same way, which doesn't entirely make a lot of sense if you only shot 1 shell. It's going to be doing the same thing every freaking time. But it does sound pretty freaking amazing. It's just that shell sound. It sounds great. Just if they fix the reloading animation on this thing, this would be my new favorite shotgun. But you can, however, slap a bayonet on top of this thing. Good for crowd control. You can go for the 1-2 punch. Pretty effective. Seems like the Brapperton is confused. As they say, swing for the fences. And if you've grown tired of shotguns, we also got the CBJ-MS paint. This is a pretty freaking nice, customizable, custom, cool looking submachine gun, to which you can attach a very large magazine, so you can just really hold down that trigger and go for Brapperton crowd control. You can slap some custom paint jobs onto this one. You can make it look a tiny bit brighter than this. I like the digital gray paint job, but you can really go for some nice CSGO skins on this as well. And overall, just spray and pray. Bullet damage not awfully high, but you can make up for that with just volume of fire. And if you thought we were done with the weapons, well, you'd be dead wrong, because we also got the FN P90. This one with incendiary rounds. Great for just putting the entire crowd on fire. Now you can also switch this out to not include incendiary rounds. You can change the paint job to be a tad bit less red. Features again custom reload animations, custom sprint animations, and overall, it is just another one of these magnificent custom weapons. Anyways, the last weapon mod we got this week is remote explosives. Basically the way it works is you just throw down one of your remote explosives and then you detonate it and things explode. So basically those little explosive packages right there, that's C4, you just throw that like an ordinary frag grenade and you equip the detonator as a weapon. So grenade, weapon, kaboom. And then you blow yourself up. You can also beat people with your detonator. I don't think this does a lot of damage though. Doesn't really appear so. So these are the improvised charges right here. They don't look as neat, but they still seem to be quite effective. And finally, we got some pulse charges. So if you want to juggle around with explosives, or you just really like the clicker detonator, and this is definitely a mod you want to be trying out. But since we're exposed to so many explosions now, we kinda need some hefty protection. Now the stuffed traveler outfit doesn't quite cut it. First of all, for whatever reason it infected me with blackness again. But secondly, it doesn't really have formidable protection, so we want some power armor. So we'll be using TRBAL power armor. So simply what we do first is call in our power armor. I managed to scrape by some extra caps and repair my orbital trap shack station. So once your power armor is there, you can see that you got some nice TRBAL power armor. It looks pretty freaking cool. It's got some style going on here, some extra protection as well as formidable crotch skull protection. Doesn't look very practical, but your crotch has never been more protected. Now in order to get your hands on this TRBAL power armor, you're gonna have to travel around the map. In total, there's 3 locations where you can encounter some raiders which have the TRBAL power armor. So one of these locations is the Scrap Palace, just a tiny bit west of that. Then make your way over to the overpass and just shoot more cars. So the one raider in here has the TRBAL power armor, Smolder. I mean, her face almost looks as bad as mine, so you'll really be doing her a favor. But just pick up the TRBAL power armor, and you're pretty much good to go. So these are pretty nice and custom power armor pieces. They are inspired by the pit raiders from Fallout 3, so you got a Brahmin skull in there. That part right there is broken, and there's some extra metal plating that's been sewn onto the power armor. But also an additional knee pad because that one probably broke off. So the story here is that these pit raiders have decided to leave Pittsburgh and come over to the Commonwealth, and that's why you can find them in various groups around the wasteland. Overall, it looks very nice. It's got a nice and black finish, some extra things on there, along with some yellow lining. So if you've grown tired of your boring old Nuka-Cola power armor, or you just want the formidable crash protection this one has to offer, then go ahead and try this one out. Well, we are nearing the end of the, not so much top 5 anymore, it's more like a top 20 at this point, but next up we got Sim Settlements, which actually has a pretty descriptive name. So the idea of this mod is that your settlements are a tiny bit more organic. So the first thing you do is you enable the City Manager 2078 holotape in your MISC section, and this will upload the required software to your pitpad in order for you to create your very own sim settlements. So in that holotape right there, you can toggle a few options, but the basics of it is that in the special section now, you've got these plots. Now they do require ASIM sensor 2078 modules, or whatever they're called. Not quite sure how you acquire those, but I found some in that Amazon Prime package, fortunately. So what you do is you place down one of these plots. There's different types of plots. There's industrial plots, residential plots, agricultural plots. There's a whole bunch of different plots, but you just plop down one of these plots. And these things do require some power, so what we just do is we take it light and we just build a fusion generator out of some toothpaste and a bucket of M6 bolts. We hook that up to the plot right here, and then all that's left to do is just assign a settler. And as you can see, it automatically starts upgrading. Now the same part of this is that it's all pretty much randomized, so it's a tiny bit more organic than just a settlement thing you plop down on your own. This thing will grow out to be something magnificent. Right now it kind of looks like a pile of shit. You can see this guy will start working on this thing right here, and it will slowly upgrade into something beautiful. This is a residential plot right here, so there's gonna be a house here. The agricultural plot will probably turn into a farm, but we can see this guy is very busy right here, hammering thin air. They can finally be the mime they've always aspired to be. This one is very dedicated to the job. The entire idea of this mod is that you just plop down a few of these things around and it will slowly build into a settlement without you having to interfere too much. Okay, well, he's finally succeeded in building the world's shittiest small house. But it does have some character to it, which is also one of the ideas of the mod. The entire interior is also randomized, so every single house has more or less a personality. A pretty shitty looking personality. Also, this place isn't entirely safe, so I'm just gonna hide in this house right here while my settler gets murdered. But, it's got personality, I guess. Right, well, that's her getting mauled to death by a deathclaw. Now the deathclaw is just turning my house into a rat mess. I'm not sure if I appreciate this. It's very sturdy though, it seems to be impenetrable. It's a good quality shack right here. Now she still seems to be very much dedicated to her role as a mine. So what we just do is we push her in and say we're tired of having this thing around, we just don't like it, we think it looks like absolute shit, and we can just also get rid of it by literally blowing it up. So overall, I think this is a pretty cool mod. Now, since I made a decent profit out of those cell phones and I don't like shitty settler-made shacks, I decided to hire an interior decorator to just really transform this place to my liking. So I gotta say, it looks like the interior decorator has done a pretty bang-up job. It's a tiny bit cluttered in here though, but we got the Mr. Pebbles poster. We got a working fan right there. We got some fresh ingredients here as well. Plumbing is conveniently marked. We got a kitchen area right here. You get some fresh chow there as well, with a nice combat knife to go slice it up. A Nuka-Cola fridge, enough liquor to go around. I can definitely live in here for about 1 week. Depending on how long it takes for me to bring out the next episode. It might take a tiny bit longer, so just whatever time that is, I can find myself living here. There's more conveniently marked boxes here as well. We got a floor safe, and then we got this here. So overall, I gotta say, this place looks pretty alright. It's a tiny bit crammed though for my liking. More isn't always more, sometimes less is a tiny bit more, but still pretty nice overall. It's got character to it, plus it fits pretty nice into the space here. But you know, we got working light switches as well, that's just a nice touch. So at this point, we are almost there, but the next mod is nice. It allows you to rename whatever you want. So say I got my battle-hardened P90 Pro here with a CSGO skin on top of it. Now when I inspect this thing, I can just rename it to whatever I want. So I'm gonna rename this to whatever I want. And there you go. You can rename anything now. And I say anything. Now say we find Preston out here in the wild because he's checking in on those new amazing settlements which all blew up. We can rename him as well. So in the console, we simply click on him and use set name, and then we can name him whatever we want. So overall, I gotta say, this really just conveys his personality a lot more. So finally, we've arrived at the last two mods, so things look a tiny bit different right now. But first up, we got M's Abominations, which, as the name would indicate, adds in a bunch of abominations. These abominations could not be more abomified. We got some Mirelurk in here, some Nuka-Lurks, some dolphins with water tanks, I guess. It doesn't really make a whole heck of a lot of sense to me, but you got these freaking tactical battle cruiser frigate dolphins, which you can push. Really not sure what M was thinking, but I mean, M has come with many crazy mods, so I guess I should have expected this. But we got the Delphinian frigate right here. We got Nuka-Lurk emperors with clubs. And he's also transformed a bunch of creatures into humanoids, so we got the glowing Thak Crownian right here, which looks very creepy. We got a walking dog as well, with a bunch of car tires. This is the super mutant hound humanoid guy thing. That looks a tiny bit stretched. I mean, I guess they're abominations for a reason. And as the polar opposite to that, we got a super mutant that's dogified right here. We got a squid with a gigantic brain. We've got a walking donut. We've got another crab, and we also got a raider vehicle right here. This one is actually really well done, I gotta say. And to really spice things up, we got even more crabs right here. We got a Nuka-Lurk emperor with a club. We got a flying bloodworm right here, and a bloodworm consisting of multiple bloodworms. That's a lot of bloodworms right there. Yeah, overall, a lot of good-looking, interesting abominations. They're injected into the level list, so you'll probably find them around the wasteland, ready to try and kill you. Speaking of which, yep, they are definitely trying to kill me right now. And trying to kill each other, so that's kind of helpful too. We're gonna assist them with that killing. I'm not sure if I like this. Just things are exploding left, right, and center. I'm getting squished in between some crabs. I got the perfect idea right now. We're just gonna go this way. I'm not sure how I'm gonna get out, but I mean, I do have winter rations, so I should be able to starve them out. Nevertheless, the final mod of this week is the Dust Bowl overall, so as you've already been able to see, there's a bunch of sand around here right now. That is the Dust Bowl overall. If you want to build a sand castle, this is the mod for you. So this transforms the entire landscape on the map to include a bunch of sand and rocks. This crab can open doors. Yeah, my tank top outfit does fit in a tiny bit better right now. And overall, I gotta say the landscape right here does look pretty beautiful. It's pretty stylish. Anyways, that was it for this week's mod, so I hope you enjoyed this episode. As I mentioned, it is a tiny bit different. It's probably a tiny bit rougher around the edges. So if you did enjoy this still, be sure to let me know. If you think it's absolutely shite, be sure to let me know as well. Also, if you did enjoy this episode, be sure to leave a like. That helps out a lot, and I will see you in the next video. I mean, I won't physically see you, but you'll hear my voice. Which actually a fair amount of people have been complaining about on that one pipe weaponry video. Man, there are some vicious comments in there. Always people complaining about my voice. There was this one guy that said I should make a video on why my voice is stupid, and then he called me a fucking queer. That was real nice. I mean, it almost makes me feel bad about myself, but fortunately I got these fat stacks of YouTube cash to dry my tears with, so I can sleep soundly at night. Anyways, until next time.